I sat there while you pled your case for confidence and secrets to be erased. I was riddled by your words. I bet that you could hardly wait to send the cavalry for me.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeremiah, and you are listening to Diatribes, a podcast about what the title says. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. If you'd like to contact me for any reason, preferably just to tell me how awesome I am, but questions and topic requests could be interesting as well. It may help future production of this show. Although I think I'm still about a year out of running out of podcast topics. Listened back to one of the past episodes, and I noticed a lot more mouth smacking than is usually desirable. I will attribute that, at least partially, to the fact that I have had a glass of wine next to me for every episode I've recorded so far, which is not ideal because it dries out your mouth a little bit. It's simultaneously good for talking and bad for talking. Hope to try to mitigate that in the future, but if not, I don't think it's going to be an overwhelmingly negative oral experience. A-U-R-A-L. Today I happen to have tea next to me. I guess I'm becoming less French and more British. Bad stereotype. Today, I want to tell you a bit of a story of something that happened recently with my boy. Well, it was a little later than usual, and we were the next morning, a little later than we expected him to still be awake. And the next morning we were planning on going to church, which has become kind of an event for us since he's been born. We've only been a few times, so it's kind of somewhat of a major ordeal, even though it's not really that bad because we went and it was fine. But when you're thinking about events that you're doing the next day, you're also thinking about the sleep that you're going to get the night before. So we had him upstairs in our bedroom, and it was dark, and we were bouncing him around. He was well fed. He was changed. His eyes looked tired. And his nose was clear. Everything that, normally he communicates to us about when he cries and stuff was taken care of, except one thing, and that was that he did not want to be in a room in the dark because the dark is boring. And this homeboy's got a lot of stuff to learn, and he loves looking around at everything, which I really appreciate at some moments, but there are other moments where it is less than ideal for us. So here's what we did. We brought him downstairs where there was light. We talked to each other. He sat on my wife's lap while I talked to him, and we had one of those just really beautiful family moments. It was the most responsive that he's ever been toward anyone in our interaction, with just direct responses to me talking, and squeals of delight and more constant laughing and back and forth banter. I don't know if that's the right word, if you can call communicating without words banter, then that's what it was. And him and I, while he was sitting on Ava's lap, I think she's cool with me using her name. If not, her name's not Ava, it's something else. Whatever, fake girl name. I can't think of any girl names. He's sitting on her lap, and him and I, with both of us with tired eyes, just laughed and talked and smiled at each other for 15 minutes straight. It was just this constant, it felt like a long moment of joy, ecstasy. It was super fun. But here's how that could have gone. Here's how that could have gone if we were insistent upon him doing what we thought he should have been doing in the moment, and him meeting our expectations, and him being comfortable for our life and more convenient for our life. It could have been where we were just going to be insistent that he fall asleep. So you could do all the tricks to try to make a baby fall asleep. I'm not sure what those are. You rock, you put them in a car, you nook them, you keep them in dark places, you rock them, you feed them a little extra, you do all these things. There's a lot of different tricks that you can look up online, and none of them ever work. If they work for you, I guess that's nice for you, but they don't work for us. So we stayed up a lot later than we wanted to, having a beautiful interaction with our son. And the alternative to just meeting his needs and filling his desires as a baby, which babies are selfish, not their fault. The alternative to that is trying to force him to fit in our desires and our expectations. And if we would have done that, we would have ended up being awake just as late, but instead of having an awesome moment, it just would have been horrible. And we would remember it as just the miserable time we had with our son that one night when he was crying and we were trying to get him to sleep and it just didn't work. Now we have a moment that I'm sure he'll cherish forever. If he doesn't remember, I'll just let him know when he's a teenager or something, where at the age when kids are really receptive to hearing about their moments as babies. Expectations of babies are something I've noticed a lot of people have, and they don't do anything except make the situation a little more miserable. And it's good to know what's normal in terms of healthy and unhealthy so you can deal with any potential issues. But when you're expecting your kid to be a certain way, you'll be sure to have your expectations blown up, or you will be disappointed. But if you meet them where they are at and go from there and figure out who they are and what they are like, and then move on from that place and interact with them from a position where you respect their individuality and not this mental mold you have of what you think they should be like, or when you think they should go to sleep, or how you think they should eat, it can make a lot more beautiful moments than being demanding of your children in any sort of way. And I feel like that story that I had and I've experienced, where it could have easily been a horrible experience, and it was a tiring experience, but you sleep when you're dead, or you die from lack of sleep, or there's some sort of saying that's supposed to be comforting. I did lose sleep, but I had this great moment that could have gone horrible. I believe that's kind of a microcosm for a lot of moments that parents have with their children, where they have this opportunity to have this intimate, relational, mutually joyful experience with their baby. And instead it ends up being frustrated that the kid isn't how I want them to be right now, or that things aren't going the ideal way I want them to be. Let's try to get over that. Not just because we should just get over it, but because it will make parenting and it will make our kids' lives and our relationships with them much better, especially over time, and especially as they get older and start noticing a lot more things and understanding the way people are treated and the way people should be treated. And maybe they'll even be more likely to meet others where they are at by following in our example. All right, I think that's it. I'm kind of running out of words that I wanted to say about this, and so let's do the music. Say anything. Thanks for joining me. Peace out, y'all.
You ever catch yourself just thinking of a way to get out? It's like a reflex motion.